Creating habits that stick. Breaking through mental and physical barriers.
Breaking through mental barriers. I am pleased to let you know that as this new year unfolds, you get to be the star of the story, and you get to write the story that you most want. To make this happen, you have to be open and present and ask for what you want. This happens in a few ways. Whether you have given yourself permission to ask for what you want and need in the past or not, you can start now for your own health and well-being. Just think about how you can create the year ahead so it will play out in the way you desire and require. To do this, you first have to ask. Allow self-kindness. This means you get to take care of yourself first, just like they tell you on the airplanes. Put your oxygen mask on first, and then you're able to help others. Give it a try and see what happens when you shift your awareness inward and allow self-kindness. Whatever makes sense to you is best. Maybe it means keeping your commitment with yourself to exercise even briefly on a day that is busy. It might also mean saying no to an event that is taking place even if you want to go. And perhaps you're feeling especially tired and need some extra sleep. Maybe it translates to taking deliberate breaths between meetings or before a potentially stressful meeting. And yes, it might also mean allowing yourself a special food treat at the end of a challenging week. Now, don't get me wrong, allowing self-kindness doesn't mean going off of the rails and doing anything you want. It's about consciously and mindfully taking and making choices at each step of your day and week. Doing this with kindness and without the lens of judgment. This is the often difficult part for all of us. Breaking through mental barriers. The next step of asking after allowing self-kindness is to simply ask yourself important questions as you navigate your day. Questions like, what do I really want? Now, don't get stumped or overwhelmed by this open-ended question. It can be used to determine what you really want in the big picture of your life. And perhaps there are opportunities to ask this question with smaller, short-term goals. For instance, the new year has begun and you are someone who loves sugary sweets. You have decided that in the new year you're going to be aware of your sugary sweet intake and get curious. Notice how I didn't use the example of eliminating all sugary sweets. On this day, someone in your department brings in homemade brownies which you happen to love. Do you dive into the pile and devour it? Do you try to avoid them altogether? What if you could coexist with this pile of brownies by asking, what do I really want? Is there a compromise to be had here? Or is it an all or nothing proposition? You get to choose. If the first question doesn't allow you to break through the brownie brick wall in front of you, ask yourself, why do I want what I want? And by the way, if you choose to eat the brownie, think about asking what you would do after that. It's a moment-to-moment proposition. And rather than thinking that the moment after the brownie is all doom and gloom, think about making a plan as to what you will do next. Maybe it's going for a walk, taking the stairs to your next meeting, or having a few large glasses of water. Remember, it's about allowing self-kindness. Another question to ask yourself is, what gets to happen in my life when I do what I really want? If we're extending the brownie theme here, then what happens to you when you follow through with your plan to minimize and maybe eventually eliminate sugary sweets? Maybe this reminds you why you came up with this plan in the first place. It could be that you notice that when you don't have the sugary sweets, you feel better and are able to sustain the energy in your day so you can be more productive and present in your day and with your family. I'm just guessing here. You're the one that gets to ask the question for yourself. Just ask. So looking beyond yourself can also have positive effects on actions. So asking the question, what happens to the lives of the people around me when I am doing what I want to do? It may give you clues to the bigger picture. Tune into yourself and ask. Breaking through mental barriers. Whatever you do, do it well. Do it so well that when people see you do it, they will want to come back and see you do it again. And they will want to bring others and show them how well you do what you do. Now, this doesn't mean that you create a theme park for all you enjoy like Walt Disney in this quote. It might just mean that when you are doing what you love that is in sync with who you are, you get to shine. Others will notice, and most importantly, you get to notice and celebrate this brilliant place in your life. It is possible, right now. Celebrate each SMART goal step and keep judgment at bay as you acknowledge each moment that is going well. And by all means, remember to breathe. Be curious, and especially allow self-kindness now and into the coming year.
Breaking through physical barriers. Knowing the difference between a goal, task, and habit. A goal is a point on the horizon. It's a destination to arrive at. It's helpful to have a way to measure progress and a way to help you recognize when you've completed the goal. A task is an action or series of actions. A habit is a task or series of tasks that are repeated regularly. As we set goals, it's helpful to keep these distinctions in mind. Goals should be goals, not habits or tasks. This allows you to take small steps toward your goals and build habits to support them. To try and build more effective, healthy habits, follow this acronym. SAME. S, sustainable. A, applicable. M, manageable. E, enjoyable. Breaking through physical barriers. Sustainable. Is this new habit one that you will be able to sustain for a long period of time? A habit is defined as a settled or regular tendency or practice, especially one that is hard to give up. For example, let's say your goal is to work out more. Start with the goal of once or twice a week. Now, obviously, there may be some weeks you're sick, on vacation, and you physically can't work out. But basically, it is up to you to create daily tasks such as getting up earlier or walking on your lunch break. The tasks should eventually lead into habits that come as naturally as brushing your teeth in the morning or watching that TV show you love. Too often, people are not ready to create a new habit and therefore have the tendency to fall off the wagon and never get back on. Creating a habit takes time. As humans, we are creatures of habit and crave some sort of regimen. Give yourself a break and remember, it's a process. Tips for creating sustainable, healthy habits. Think small tasks. Make sure the habit is something you can do every day. You have to be the one to want to create this goal and habit for yourself. It needs to be generally easy. By easy, I mean you must be able to have time for it in your day. Don't make a 1-hour workout commitment if realistically you know you only have 30 minutes. Breaking through physical barriers. Applicable. Is this new habit one that applies to your life? For example, say if you have decided to start running. Ask yourself, do you enjoy running? If so, why has it taken this long for you to decide to start? These are important questions to ask yourself to determine if this is really a goal or habit that you want to form. Is running going to make you feel better every day, or will you dread having to do it? Are your family or friends trying to get you into running? Are you doing this for you or them? What are your long-term goals? Does running make sense as a habit to reach your long-term goals? If you have a goal to run a 5K, then running makes sense. If your goal is to feel better every day and lose weight, there are more effective options than just running. Another example, you want to cook healthier meals. Does this apply to just you, or will you be cooking for a partner or your family? How applicable is this to your schedule? Will you need to use a crock pot or meal prep so you have leftovers and you won't have to cook every day? Figure out how this new habit best applies to you. Some people may have time to cook and peel fresh veggies. If you don't, there's nothing wrong with frozen, low-sodium veggies. You gotta do what you gotta do. Breaking through physical barriers. Manageable. Is this new habit manageable for you? Are you realistically able to manage the daily tasks that go into forming this habit? Example, you want to get into the habit of stretching for 10 minutes every morning when you wake up. You must be able to manage the following tasks. Setting your alarm at least 10 to 20 minutes earlier. Plan ahead what stretches you would like to include. Go to bed 20 to 30 minutes earlier. Fuel your body with healthy, real foods throughout the day so you're more awake and energized in the morning. Only you truly know your body and how you feel. Be sure that these new tasks, habits, or goals are something that your body will physically be able to stick to and manage. Healthy habits should make you feel better, not worse. Even though you may feel tired or sore from a workout, it should make you feel more energetic and healthier in the long run. You may have to test your limits a little bit. Starting out, try managing 1 or 2 stretch sessions a week instead of every day. This will allow you to start creating that habit and add on more sessions over time if you see you can manage more than 2. Breaking through physical barriers. Enjoyable. One of the most important, if not the most important, part of forming a habit is enjoying it. If you don't enjoy this activity, you will not bother sustaining, applying, or managing it. You'll just leave it in the dust. How do you know if this is a habit or activity you will enjoy? Is it something you have enjoyed in the past? Do you feel happier when doing this activity? Is this a habit that you will enjoy for a long time? Example, a goal of limiting your fast food intake to maybe once a month. This means that at first it may be a challenge to create the habit, but after a while you start to enjoy the healthy foods you're eating and you feel great. You should not be dreading having to avoid fast food every day. If this is the case, try having a smaller goal and working your way up to the one you want. Do you feel happier after this activity is completed? Example, your goal is to push yourself a little harder during your workouts. Figure out the task you need to accomplish daily to create this habit and then do it. Even though the workout might be challenging at the time, continue to push through because you will feel great when it's over. You may not enjoy the new habit every single time you do it, but that's why it's a habit. You know it's good for you, and you know that you really do enjoy it in the long run.
Theodore Roosevelt said, quote, "Do what you can with what you have, where you are," end quote. Yes, do this with kindness, breath, and self-awareness.